Is someone lesser than because they take a different role in a relationship than the other person? Let's chat about this. In our culture currently, there is this idea that has been perpetrated, whether we consciously realize it or not, that there are some roles within a relationship that are good and that are productive, and there are some roles within a relationship that are lesser than type of roles. And so in our society currently, where we currently stand, we kind of have this idea that if you have a career and you're providing financially and logistically in that way to the family, you have the better, more ideal role in the family, and therefore your role is greater than or better than a better alternative to a role of someone who is staying at home raising children. And so because of this ideology that has so permeated the culture, I think that truly, honestly, most people don't necessarily know that they even have this viewpoint until someone really points it out in the illogicy in their thinking when they're having a conversation with them, or as they're learning or reading and trying to grow and develop in their relationships. I recently got a comment on something I had mentioned, which obviously there are always going to be the commenters, so I don't take any of them too personally. But basically, I just said, I do this for the family, my husband does this, XYZ, whatever. And they said, oh yes, well, we view our marriage as an equal partnership, not that either one of us contributes lesser than the other. And I thought it was interesting because it really sums up where our culture has brought us to the point where the majority of people genuinely just so fully and truly believe that there are certain parts of a relationship or certain chores or certain things that you need to do in a relationship that are less than. Like maybe you're an emotional support, right? Maybe that's like the highest tier in the society is like, okay, well, you're contributing to your relationship emotionally. And so you're supporting that person and cheering them on and, listening to them and being empathetic. And so maybe that's like at the highest tier. So like if you are supporting each other emotionally at the same exact level all of the time, 100% of the time, like that's the ideal. That's what you've got to be doing in order to not have either one be lesser than. And then there's like contributing career-wise, contributing logistically, like the logistical chores, the things around the house, and how that has to look. And it all has to be exactly perfectly equal in every single manner. So every single role that you could play as a parent, as a spouse, as a emotional support, as a physical support, as a career support, and as a financial support, it all has to be exactly equal in the partnership, quote unquote, in the marriage, in order for your marriage to be viewed as equals, in order for the people in the marriage to be viewed as equals. I'm going to pause here to remind you, don't forget to go ahead and click that subscribe button if you like what you're hearing. I talk about living an intentional life rooted in God's word. And here is a little bit of a fallacy within that thinking. So often, so many people who have been married for very, very long periods of time have always said, no human being is going to be able to meet your needs at 100%, at 100% level. It's going to be maybe 80-20. Sometimes it might be less. And so each day, each spouse needs to commit to giving 100% of themselves, of what they're able to give. They're giving 100%. And the other spouse is giving 100%. And together, you're able to work together and continue to grow in your relationship and in your marriage together. However, this viewpoint views that 100%, like you each giving your best, giving your equal contribution mentally and emotionally and spiritually and physically to each other, as equal in every single role in every single way. Whereas in each role that we have in life, so say I'm a sister and a daughter, right? So both a sister and a daughter. In both of those roles, I could be giving 100% of each of them, but that might look different. My 100% of what I'm giving to each of those roles might look different in the way my sister might do that. She's also a daughter and a sister. And so her 100% of giving towards, maybe me as a sister emotionally, and then as a daughter to the parents, emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, all of that is going to look different. Does that difference mean, though, that we are not equal? Like, just because she's not giving the 100% that I prefer to give, right? The way that I am giving this affection or mental stability or whatever, does that mean that she's not also doing that? Not necessarily, right? And so with a husband and a wife, they are not the same person because they are fundamentally different. See my video about how men and women are different, countercultural ideas about that. But men and women are different in their brain, just emotionally, physically. They are different. And so the way in which they're going to give their 100% could look different, especially for different types of couples. Some people might enjoy certain aspects in their relationship more than others. And so for some couples, like, it might look different the way the distribution of the relationship happens. Maybe that's the distribution of the household duties. Maybe that's even the way they support and encourage one another. I know that for me and my husband, if I supported and encouraged my husband the same exact way that he did for me, either one of the two of us would feel like we're not being supported and encouraged in the way in which we naturally would like to receive it. You're different people. You have a different personality. And so it's important to give that support and encouragement in the way in which that person rightly receives it. It's the same thing for all of the duties that you could logistically break up, whether that's household duties, whether that's career duties. But at the end of the day, coming to the conclusion, different duties or different logistical aspects of the relationship, especially that are more just actions, right? Like household chores, how the mother-father relationship is, how the who's doing what can be broken up, and yet both people still could be giving their 100%. So in most cases, this is going to look like the wife is staying at home. She's with her children. She's mothering them all day. And the husband is at work. He's providing for his family. He's being a father through his provision. And then when he comes home, he's then able to, continue to be a father through his discipline and through all the other ways that he does that, and to be a spouse, a husband to his wife in the ways that he usually does that. Now, is one of the two of them less than just because they're doing something fundamentally different from the other one? No, right? Is the husband more valuable because he somehow has this like great career that he's involved with? He's helping people, like maybe it's a great impact to society, right? Is he somehow more important for doing that? No, certainly not. At the same time, the wife is not somehow more important for doing what she's doing at home, raising the children, doing the daily tasks, maybe, bringing them up, teaching them and nurturing them, doing whatever household chores. So in that stereotypical scenario, both spouses are contributing 100% to the relationship. Now, that may not look like 100% every single day, right? We're humans, we make mistakes, we may not be able to bring our full amount every single day. But for the most part, over the course of the relationship, there may be times that she does better, maybe times that he does better. But over the course, they're both bringing the same level of value and of equal partnership, equal marriage to that marriage relationship, but the difference is just in what they are doing. That doesn't mean that one option is less than the other. My mom stayed home. She homeschooled 4 children for the majority of the time. We did go to private school for a bit, but she was still at home with young ones. So the point being is like what she was doing, even though it was different, it was definitely different. My dad went to work. He was a nurse. He was a nurse case manager. It was definitely different what she was doing than what he was doing. But it wasn't any less valuable or any less needed in the family dynamic than what he was doing. And what he was doing wasn't any less needed or valued in the family dynamic. Absolutely, both of those roles and differences in how they played that out were both very, very needed, both very, very valued. So I would encourage you to challenge that cultural status quo of either viewing either or, because sometimes it can be viewed as, oh, well, the husband, he's not helping out enough at home, like he's lesser than because he's at work all day. Or it might be viewed as like, oh, the wife, well, she's just at home with the kids, like she doesn't do anything all day. And so from both sides, we can look at either role and say, oh, well, that's less valuable to this relationship. They don't have an equal partnership because one of them is doing something different. So I think we definitely as a culture need to distinguish between what is different and yet still equal and valuable to the marriage partnership, the marriage goal, and yet what is actually damaging or harmful to the marriage and relationship, and what is something that is like, this is a lesser than person in this relationship because of XYZ. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would appreciate it if you could give this a thumbs up if you are enjoying this content.